Hey guys, it is Friday here in West Virginia, so it's time for us to do our Free It Friday. And along with Free It Friday, we're also doing a wheel swap. And today's items we're unboxing are actually not die-cast cars, they're like die-cast car accessories. And the one set of things probably would have been perfect if I would have unboxed it over on the other table at Mr. Norm's, but Mr. Norm's is undergoing some, not really remodeling, but some add-on stuff to kind of add to the detail of the lot itself. The dealership is fine. I just needed to upgrade the car lot and add a few things to make it look really good, make it go in accordance with the dealership itself. And I think I gave a sneak preview of it the other day when we were doing the Miho figures. I added them to the Miho American Diorama figures, I should say. I added those to our diorama, and there was already a few of the 3D printed parts that I ordered out on display. I think the jersey barriers and some orange cones were out there, but I didn't really give you guys a close-up look at them. So I'm going to be doing that this weekend. I'm going to show you guys all the 3D printed stuff that I've ordered and other accessories I've ordered. And then basically once I get them on display, then I'll do another video on the dealership itself and how it's laid out. But there's really no how to add it to the dealership. They're 3D printed parts. And you just add them where you think is necessary. So I got the light poles, I got the jersey walls, barriers, and then orange cones. I got the dealership wedges, which looks like a ramp where the cars are on display at the used car dealerships usually. I got some of those, and we also got, well, the Mr. Norm's garage accessories, and then we got the American Diorama figures, which we added the other day. And there were, I think, a couple of other things. Oh yeah, the front barrier. I'm doing something different with that, and it's really not 3D printed parts, but we're going to go over that too, and maybe I'll even do a how-to video on it. But it's very simple and not crude. It looks okay, but it's just a simple mod that you can do to make a car lot look like a real car lot. So anyways, going to our unboxing today. This is your Mr. Norm's Grand Spalding Dodge accessory kit here, and it has Grand Spalding Dodge 3300 West Grand Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, and it has Mr. Norm's in the ram head and such. Shop tool accessories is a Series 6, and these are really cool. They're nicely done. They are plastic though, so it's not like the American Diorama ones that are metal. The only benefit with these though, like if a thing falls over in your car, you don't really have to worry about they chipping the car. That's the only thing I had against the die-cast figures and accessories, because, well, shit happens and accidents happen. Something can fall over and hit the car, and if it's die-cast metal, well, that's more likelihood that it's going to chip the paint or scratch it or something like that, so we don't want that to happen. That's why the shop tools I like is plastic. Even the figures, I've told you the tip when I was putting them out. I actually take little squares of this clear PVC plastic and glue to the bottom of their feet. That way they do not fall over. So that's only the ones that are supposed to be standing. Now the ones that lean against the wall or set on the car or something, those I don't, obviously. But the standing figures, I glued a little bit of plastic on them so they can't be knocked over or pushed over and stuff. If you hit them, they'll just move over. They won't fall over, which is cool. So anyways, let's get these tools out and take a look at them. And this is not a bad deal. It comes to like 50 cents per item. Whoops, and there goes all the items everywhere. I dumped the tray out. Whoops, but I think I know where everything went, which is good. Anyways, these items come to about 50 cents a piece. I think the set was $5.99, and if you can find it at a hobby shop near you, that's great, because then you don't have to worry about wasting money on shipping and handling. That was my big deal. That's what took me so long to order these, because I had to find something else I could order with it to make the shipping worthwhile. So here's the Mr. Norm's workbench. It's okay. They're workbench design from Greenlight. Sometimes I was even using these as a bench for people to sit on, but the legs are a little bit high. But this, I just kind of sit over in the corner and just let it sit there. And sometimes you can find a car part in 1/64, like a cylinder head or even an engine block or something. It's cool to set on these. And then the tire display with the Mr. Norm's emblem on each end of the tires, and these are actually rubber tires on a plastic base here. This I will put inside the showroom for display in the showroom next to my old gas pump. These other four, I still gotta find the other one. It's the air compressor, where it just spilt everywhere. So anyways, I'm going to use these outside the door, like when the mechanics are working on the cars, because I don't have any lights inside the garage, and the roof does not lift off the way my buddy built it. It wasn't designed for the roof to come off in the back, so there's really no need to have lights in there, honestly. But it did have them, and it was highly detailed in there, but it's hard to show people it because there's not a lot of access to it. So whenever I do buy shop tools, I act like the guys are working on the front of the car, sticking out of the bay door on a nice sunny day, and they have their tools out there and such. So that's the Mr. Norm's jack. And then your Mr. Norm's lights. These halogen lights, I guess I would call them, on a stand. And then your Mr. Norm's battery charger, which is cool. And the air compressor, which I hope I can find that kind of immediately, but I don't think I'm going to, guys. That was kind of a little bit of a screw up there, but you've seen them before. They're to carry around hand tanks that basically you throw in the back of your truck. You can take them everywhere with you. So what I did is I have like a 71 RT sticking out of the bay door, and I have the battery charger there. Let me drop it down. And then I have the jack and the air compressor, because I want it to look like they're doing a dealer prep on a new 71 Charger, because as I said before in some of the past videos, I would like for the dealership to look like it is the summer of like 1971 or something. All the new 71 models lined up around the outside of the dealership, and have a car lot full of, I don't know, like 1965 to 1970 models for the used cars and such. So that's kind of what I was going for. So these tools look cool sitting outside, and I don't know where the air compressor went, but I'll find it and you'll see it in the next video I do when everything is laid out. Over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to do a preview of all the 3D printed parts I got and leave the seller's name from eBay in the description. There's actually two sellers I ordered from. They both offered two different parts that I needed. So that I will leave in the description so you guys can find them if you'd like to buy some. They were very reasonably priced and very well done. So anyways, moving along to our wheels and tire package. So this is a great set of wheels and tires, but my beef with it is because I'm in the classic Mopar muscle. Well, they only have the Mopar rallies here. That's it. Everything else is all modern from, like, say, 2010 on up. For like the Charger RTs, the Challengers, and such, these are the wheels that come on these vehicles. The only thing I'm interested in were these rally wheels. And then they have the Dodge set. They have a Dodge truck and just Dodge in general. And the Dodge set has a set of Magnum 500s. And then the other three are modern style. I wish they would have done like a old school muscle Mopar set and a new muscle Mopar set instead of mixing it together. But I'll find use with these other three sets, I guess. I'm thinking about maybe one of my Tarmac Challengers that I have, the wide bodies. Maybe put these chrome 5-spokes on one instead of having the all black wheels on like the red one or the white one. Maybe we'll do something like that. But today what I want to do is put those Mopar rallies on this Supernatural 70 Dodge Charger. This is a beautiful car. This is very well done. It has the beige or saddle colored interior. It's black with a white tail stripe. Very cool car. The only thing I do not like are the wheels. The wheels are not bad. I mean, but they are not my choice. They remind me of either old trailer wheels or like NASCAR wheels from like the 1970s or 80s. But yeah, they're not bad, but I would rather see Mopar rallies on it. So that's what we're going to do today. And sometimes the Greenlight stuff is hard to take off the car. I don't know why. They're not as like easy as the M2s. The M2 stuff comes off quite easily, but the Greenlight stuff, when you try to pry it, especially their Mopar rallies, because I tried to wheel swap with another car, and the Mopar rallies that were on the other car, they ended up breaking. The lip ended up breaking off of it, and it's something that commonly happens. I hate to say it, because I had a Kill Bill 71 Charger in the Philippines, and I tried to take some Mopar rallies off of a Daytona that had really bad zinc rot. And when I took them off, the nipple on the back of the wheel broke. And I'll show you what I mean. This little nipple in the back of the wheel that has your female end. It looks like a male end with a female end. So anyways, that has a tendency to break off the back of them. I was trying to take a set of Mopar rallies off an AAR CUDA that I have, and I was going to put them on this Charger, but the nipple broke off the first wheel I tried to pry off. And I don't really do it too like aggressively. What I do is I take the screwdriver and just put behind the wheel on each side and just pry just a little bit, and then usually you can get them off once they start at least getting to a certain point. They will be able to be worked off. And yeah, that one came off pretty easily. And these have been off before. I took these off before I tried to take the Mopar rallies out the CUDA. It's like, all right, they came off great. So I took the CUDA, and the first wheel I started to work on broke the nipple off of it, off the back of it. And these are a very tall sidewall, so you do have to take off with the tire to slide this back out with the axle. And then I'll do the same thing with one of these back tires here. And as I said, these wheels may just come right off because they've been off before from the other day. And yeah, this is there we go. So no, it's gonna still require some finagling there. Kind of spin it around to get them off whenever you have a wheel opening that sets behind, the wheel opening sits above or over the tire. So there you go. Came off with the axle. This other wheel will drop out. So that's usually how it works. Just kind of work one side or to the other, back and forth evenly. Because if you just pry one side, sometimes you'll bend the axle or you'll split the nipple on the back of the wheel. And if that happens, it's okay. I mean, you can always use super glue to put it back on, but when that nipple totally breaks off 100% and it's still on the axle, you're not going to be able to save that nipple like taking it off the axle. So, but you can take the wheel and put super glue on that nipple and pop the wheel back on it, and it's okay. That's what I did with the CUDA, but you just can't put them on another car. So anyways, you got your wheels and tires, and then they give you the axles here, and they got tape over the axles so they don't go spilling everywhere when you take these out, which is a good idea. So we're going to remove all 4 of the Mopar rallies, and then I'll just take my knife and split that tape above the axles here. That should be good enough, I think. Yeah, and then I'm hoping these axles are not too long. course that tape sticks to all the axles and they all want to come out. So anyways, I'm going to take a look at these and see here. So yeah, they're going to be a little bit too long. So what I'm going to try to do is use the original axles. And give me 1 second, and all I do to try to do this is I take my needle nose and grab the axle and then try to work it out of the other wheel. And it does work pretty well. I mean, if the wheel isn't like super stuck on there. So then what I'll do is I'll try to put the wheel or the nipple of the axle into the new wheel. And I don't know how well that's going to work because the holes on these new wheels may be too small. So, sorry I had to take that off screen so I could see it a little bit better. Yeah, I think it's going to work. That's the thing with the stock axles. They have barbed ends, as you can, well, let me try to get it to focus for you guys. Yeah, see the barbed end. So it makes it a little bit harder to get the wheel and tire on. But anyways, let's try to slide these back through the hole here. Alright, I had to pop the tire off the wheel because, well, it sets down over the wheel. So as you can see, it's going to look pretty good on there. And then, same thing with this axle. Let's try to work that wheel off if I can. Just spin it off like you're unscrewing a nut from a bolt. And then I'll take another one of these Mopar rallies and try to slip down on that nipple. Now putting the other side on may be a little bit more complex. But as you can see, I'm just holding that with the needle nose and trying to spin it on as good as I can. And while trying to keep it straight, which is kind of hard. To not bend it at all. But, and actually to try to get it down on the axle far enough. So, yeah, these wheel kits and wheel swaps aren't as easy as they make them seem when they are advertising them to us. They're a little bit tougher. And honestly, I think this tire, I'm going to take it off too and slide it through without the tire on it. Because, there we go. Because the way it sits, even the front fender is a little bit over the sidewall. Not much, as you can see here. I think this car looks a lot better with Mopar rallies on it. Pretty cool looking car with Mopar rallies. Any Mopar looks good with Mopar rallies, in my opinion. So now I got to try to get the other wheel and tire down in the wheel opening while I'm doing this. And this video is going a little longer than I expected. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it. I don't know, maybe I won't. Let me try my best to get these on there as quick as I can. But what's happening is, well, the other wheel is not cooperating so well to get it in there. I mean, it's even like the stock axle is going to be a little bit too long. It's not going down in the wheel far enough, as you can see. So let me take a break and then come back. I may have to trim a couple axles to put this on there. So we'll be right back. Sorry about the cutout, guys. It seems like everything that I think is going to go simple is a nightmare sometimes. I guess that's the way it always goes. Anyways, I had to take the barbed axles back off. Even though they look, and they are shorter than the other axles, they just would not work. I guess the hole that's drilled in that nipple for the back of the wheel, those Mopar rallies, is not that deep. So, I don't know, I took these axles with the no barbed ends and I had to trim off, I don't know, maybe a 1/16 of an inch to get them to go in there. But as you can see, it freely rolls, and it is a black 70 Charger RT with Mopar rallies, the way it should be. So, looks great, happy with the outcome, and it rolls nice and such. So sorry about the long video here. I did not think it was going to take over 20 minutes, but it did with this add-on. So anyways, we'll be back again tomorrow. I'm going to show you those 3D printed pieces I got for the diorama, and I'm going to leave the seller's username in the description. And then after that, I'm going to give you guys a grand tour of the Mr. Norm's Grand Spalding Dodge dealership once everything is set up. As I said, there's one other thing that's not 3D printed that I had to work on. It's basically like a post and chain thing. And I forget what they called the little... I just call it fence posts because that's what a lot of dealers did, but a lot of dealers use those round yellow things. They're about 4-inch, maybe 5-inch diameter, and they're yellow with a dome top, usually about 3 feet tall, and they will link a chain to each one to another. So the other ones I'm used to seeing, they were the poor man's setup. They were like 2.5-inch fence posts driven into the ground, and they were filled with concrete, and then they were linked together with chain. And that's basically what mine's going to replicate. So I'll show you those, and then maybe I'll do a how-to video on it whenever everything is up and done. But thanks for your patience, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow to show you those awesome 3D printed parts.